The phone rang. Exhausted from last night's rampage, I must have fallen asleep. I woke up to the phone ringing and ran into the bathroom, stood on the toilet, and flipped open the phone taped to the ceiling. It was Amy, and I feel so much better. She was really worried about me and apparently had been trying to contact me since the last time I spoke to her. She's coming over now, and yes, she knows where I am without me telling her. I actually kind of feel a little embarrassed right now, but I am definitely throwing this journal after everything, before anyone sees it, that is. I don't even know why I'm writing on it right now, but maybe it's just because it's the only communication I've had at all since God knows when. Dude, I look like hell. I looked in the mirror just before coming back here, and my eyes are sunken, my stubble is thicker, and I just generally look unhealthy. My apartment is trashed, but I'm not gonna wait to clean it up. Honestly, I think I need someone else to see what I've been through. These past few days have not been normal, but I'm not one to imagine things. I know I have been the victim of extreme probability. I probably missed seeing another person a dozen times. I just happened to go out when it was late at night or in the middle of the day when everyone else was gone. Everything's perfectly fine. I know this. Plus, I found something in the closet last night that helped me tremendously. A television. Like, a legit TV. Which, like, oh, there it is. I set it up before I wrote this, and it's in the background. Television has always been an escape for me, and it reminds me that there's a world beyond these dingy brick walls. I am glad that Amy was the only one who responded to me after last night's frantic pestering of everyone I could contact. She doesn't know it, but I count the day that I met her among one of the few moments of true happiness in my life. I remember that warm summer day fondly. It seems like a different reality from this dark, rainy, lonely place, but I feel like I spent days sitting on that playground, much too old to play, just talking with her and hanging around doing nothing at all. I still feel like I can go back to that moment sometimes, and it reminds me that this damn place is not all that there is. Finally, a knock on the door. I thought it was odd that I couldn't see her through the camera I had between the two soda machines. I figured that it was bad positioning, like when I couldn't see outside the front door. I should have known. I should have known. After the knock, I yelled through the door jokingly that I had a camera between the two soda machines. Because I was embarrassed of myself, and I had taken this paranoia so far. After I did that, I saw her image, walk over the camera and look at it. She smiled and waved. "Hey," she said to the camera, brightly, giving a wry look. "It's weird, I know," I said into the mic attached to my computer. "I've had a few weird days." "Must have," she replied. Open the door, John. I hesitated. How could I be sure? Hey, humor me for a second. I told her through the mic. Tell me one thing about us, just to prove to me that you're you. She gave the camera a weird look. Alright, she said slowly, thinking. We met randomly at a playground when we were both way too old to be there. I sighed deeply as reality returned and fear faded. God, I'd been so ridiculous. Of course, it was Amy. That day wasn't anywhere in the world except in my memory. I'd never mention it to anyone, not out of embarrassment, but out of strange secret nostalgia and a longing for those days to return. If there was some unknown force at work trying to trick me, as I feared, there was no way they could have known about that day. Alright, I'll explain everything. I'll be right there, I told her. I ran to the bathroom and fixed up my hair as best as I could. I look like hell. But she would understand. Snickering at my own unbelievable behavior and the mess that I've made of the place, I walked to the door. I put my hand on the doorknob and gave the mess one last look. So ridiculous, I thought. My eyes traced over the half-eaten food laying on the ground, the overflowing trash bins, and the bed I tipped to the side for looking over God knows what. I almost turned to the door and opened it, but my eyes fell on one last thing. The old webcam. The one I used for that eerily vacant chat with my friend. Its silent black sphere lay haphazardly tossed to the side. Its lens pointed at the table where this journal lay. An overwhelming terror took me as I realized that if something could see through that camera, it would have seen what I just wrote about that day. I asked her for one thing about us, and she chose the one thing in the world that I thought they or it did not know. But it did. I didn't open the door. I screamed. I screamed in uncontrollable terror. I stomped on the old webcam on the floor. The door shook and the doorknob tried to turn, but I didn't hear Amy's voice through the door. Was the basement door made to keep out drafts too thick? Or was Amy not outside? What could have been trying to get in if not her? What the hell is out there? I saw her on my computer through the camera outside. I heard her on the speakers through the camera outside. But was it real? How could I know? Is she gone? She's gone now. I screamed and shouted for help. I piled up everything in my apartment against the front